Artesia, New Mexico asks, my question is, what are the three major units that comprise the water's pressure control system?
I can take that one.
All right, Jay?
Basically, there are two systems. You have a discharge relief valve system and you have an intake relief valve system. The discharge relief valve system will control discharge pressure so you don't have an overpressurization of a discharge line. If you're running 3 hand lines, you shut 2 of them down without a relief valve system in place. One line could be overpressurized, and it's firefighter safety. You have 2 parts to that system. You have a relief valve, which is down on the pump itself between the discharge of the pump and the intake of the pump. And then you have a pilot valve or control on your pump panel. The pump panel controller, the pilot valve, will sense pressure changes and control the discharge relief valve to bypass water from the discharge side of the pump back into the intake. The intake relief valve system, again, has 2 components. Typically, you have a dump valve down on the intake, and you have a pilot valve on the panel or in a compartment on the opposite side of the truck, basically doing the same thing, controlling the intake pressure so that you have a spike on the intake side of the pump. The water will dump to atmosphere to maintain a constant pressure on the intake side of the pump. Main reason you have intake relief valves is you need a pressure differential between intake pressure and discharge pressure for the discharge relief valve system to function. There's got to be a differential so the discharge pressure can bypass back into the intake side of the pump. The intake relief valve also controls or protects against water hammers. If there's a water hammer created on the intake side of the pump, it'll dump that water to atmosphere. Now we're also, when is the single
August 1st.
August 1st. So we are also coming out with a single controlled intake relief valve that doesn't require a pilot valve. It'll be set right on the valve itself. So, good question, Ron.
All right, thanks, Jay.